Hi everyone, how are you all doing? Welcome back to the channel. For those who don't know me, my name is Bruno Villas and I share real criminal cases here on the internet. And if you're new here and haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I invite you to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss notifications. Because that way, every time I upload a new video, YouTube will notify you and you can rush here to watch with me. I also invite you to follow me on social media, because I'm always interacting with you there. But now let's get to what matters and let's dive into today's case. Before we start today's case, I want to give you a notice. This video has a documentary nature and was produced using information that is available on the internet and was compiled into a video. The purpose of this documentary is not to shock anyone, much less disrespect the people involved in the case. As you know, on this channel, the facts are narrated with the utmost respect possible. Glauciele Silva Monteiro, better known as Glauciele Smith, was born on the 7th of May 2000, making her a Taurus, daughter of a woman named Elvira Maria Silva do Nascimento. The young woman was born and raised in the city of Governador Valadares, in the Brazilian state of Minas Gerais. I didn't find much information about Glauciele's childhood and adolescence. But what is known is that in 2020, the girl became famous on social media after starting to make videos for TikTok. People had no idea, but a year earlier, Glauciele had been the protagonist of a bizarre story. In June 2019, a woman was rushed in an emergency to the municipal hospital. From Governor Valadares, this woman introduced herself as Glauciele Silva Monteiro, 19 years old. She was pregnant and had just given birth to the baby at her home. However, the child was born lifeless. Well, although she was in possession of all of Glauciele's documents, she was actually the young woman's mother. And obviously she wasn't 19 years old, as she indeed claimed, but in reality she was actually 39 years old. And her name was Elvira. Now you must be wondering, but perhaps why was she using her daughter's documents? And this is where the story gets very bizarre. A few years before this bizarre event, Glauciele became pregnant, but ended up having a miscarriage, and as a consequence, she lost the ability to bear a child. However, she had the dream of becoming a mother, and after watching some videos on the internet, she had a bizarre idea. She came to the conclusion that she could fulfill this dream if her mother carried a child together with her boyfriend. It was then that Glauciele started collecting her boyfriend's genetic material and applying it to her mother using a syringe, performing a sort of homemade artificial insemination. I don't know if her boyfriend was aware, but what I do know is that to add more credibility to this whole scheme, Mrs. Elvira, the mother of the young woman, started doing the prenatal exams and consultations using Glauciele's documents. This way, it would be much easier to register the child later. The whole truth came to light because on the day Mrs. Elvira was admitted with the lifeless baby at the hospital, Glauciele climbed onto the hospital bed and took a photo which was soon posted on her social media, lamenting the loss of the baby. This strange behavior raised suspicion among the hospital staff, who immediately called the police. When the police arrived, ideological falsehood was confirmed, and Mrs. Elvira was taken to the police station to provide clarification. Glauciele and Mrs. Elvira told the whole story to the police, but as the young woman's boyfriend, whose identity was kept confidential, did not want to file a complaint about the theft of his genetic material, the two were released. All of this did not stop Glauciele from continuing with her deceit, and, in fact, she even went as far as to blame the doctor for the baby's death. I know all of this has already been quite heavy, but it doesn't stop there, you see, folks. That's because now in 2023, Glauciele got into trouble again. And this time she was actually arrested. Well, as everyone knows, these last few months have been crazy, with the issue of school security. There have been several attacks, some gained more media attention. Others did not, but in any case, indeed, everyone with young children was very worried about this situation. Well, many of you even asked me to talk about this here on the channel, but I chose not to give visibility to this type of event, to avoid encouraging copycats. I have a 13-year-old sister who attends public school, and I was terrified, right? In fact, many TV channels said they would no longer give visibility to these cases precisely to avoid encouraging copycats. And I did my part and stayed very quiet. I even saw some channels taking advantage of the hype, talking a lot about it. Honestly, I found it very cruel. At a time when we needed to calm this situation, seeing people wanting to gain visibility from this type of tragedy, to me is very sad. Well, April 20th, 2023 had been chosen as the main date for the event. These truly horrible acts to happen. And the population was quite alarmed with influencer profiles spreading that the worst would potentially happen in schools on this day. Well, one of these popular influencers was actually Glauciele. According to information from the civil police, the young woman had created these profiles to spread false news about supposed and exaggerated massacres that would occur in the city's schools, which caused great commotion and fear among the local population. After a long investigation, the police discovered that Glauciele was behind these profiles and that, in fact, she was planning a massacre at one of the schools in Gobernador Valladares. Although there was no concrete evidence that the act would actually occur, the authorities believe that the young woman did this to gain more recognition and followers on social media. The young woman was arrested on April 20th itself and will remain in custody while the investigations are ongoing. According to the civil police, as reported by local authorities, masks of the character Ghostface from the movie Scream were found at the young woman's house, which were supposedly to be used during the attack, as well as cell phones, containing conversations about the organization of these attacks as well. The young woman's defense claimed that Glauciele suffers from psychological problems, and that they are steadfast in their attempt to secure a habeas corpus so that the woman can respond to the process in freedom. The TikToker's fans believe that she was set up and that Glauciele is innocent in this whole story. But what about you? What do you think about all this? I truly was very shocked by this story. And it's so true that I rushed to make a video to tell you all about it. But that's it, folks. That was today's case. If you stayed with me until now, don't forget to leave your like. It really helps in promoting the channel here. I'll stop here. A kiss to all of you and see you in the next video.